Hi, everyone. Teresa Aker here from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. It's my pleasure today to bring you Jordan Edwards. How you doing, Jordan?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, I'm so glad you came on. I'm just going to do a quick bio about you, and then I'm going to come back to you, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, Jordan. So here we go. Jordan is the founder of Edwards Consulting uh, and host of Clockedin Podcast. Jordan strives to create an exciting life through incredible experiences from hiking the Inca Trail to traveling around the world, over 25 countries thus far, to interviewing the founder of Reebok, Joseph Foster, and running the NYC Marathon, to name a few. Also, Jordan helps businesses lower merchant processing fees through his relationships with experts in the field. Jordan shares these insights with his audience and clients. Jordan, nice background you have.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's very kind words.
Yeah, let's get started. Let's talk about you. How did you get started in all of this?
Yeah, so pretty much what happened to me regarding the podcast is it was 2020 and COVID hadn't happened yet, but I was doing this challenge called 75 Hard. And I was sitting there going, I need to do something. I need to make a change. And 75 Hard, have you heard it before or no?
I haven't, but I'll look it up.
Okay, it's basically this guy, Andy Frisella, he runs First Form, and it's a fitness challenge, basically, and it's a mental challenge. It's basically two workouts a day, 45 minutes, one inside, one outside. Drink a gallon of water, read 10 pages of a personal development book, eat clean, no alcohol, and I think that's basically it. And basically, with this challenge, I was doing it with a buddy of mine. And what ended up happening is we didn't, on Saturdays, we would usually be like going out and about. So we had to find new activities. So we ended up going to this airplane show in Naples, Florida. And we go to the show, and it's a very small airport, but they had a little Vietnam War museum. And I start reading about it, and I'm like, this is fascinating. Because one of the guys worked there, and you should really read about this guy. And it said how it was Wayne Ogden Smith, and he was a prisoner of war for 7 years at Hotel Hanoi. And he ended up getting out and made this incredible company back in the States. And I'm like, Wayne, I just said this guy, Wayne, sounds incredible. And the old guy looks at me and I'm Wayne Ogden Smith. And I'm like, whoa. In that moment, I go, I have a podcast. I'd love to have you on. And we did it for 15 minutes and just on my phone. And then I ended up going there the next week and recording at his house with him. And it made me realize in that moment that we need to leave space for what we want to create. If we want to create something, we have to leave that opening and that space to really make those iterations, to make those changes, because life can be so busy sometimes and we forget to plan out what we really want to do. That's why I applaud you for creating this podcast, creating success. Like it's not every day that you go out, do the actions, and work towards it. And even in our pre-call, we were talking about iterations on YouTube and ways to improve. And we're constantly in this place of improvement. And it can be it takes time to learn these new things. It's not easy.
It's not. Trust me, Jordan. But you're right. Congratulations on your show because you took something that was serious and information and you said, okay, there's a story here. So you did the exact same thing, Jordan, that I did. I saw a story in someone and I ran with it. And you're very personable. I will say that. Absolutely. You smile so great and people are interested. And so if you have a message and you're willing to bring it out, I think it's important today, right?
100%. Yeah, people need to share their stories because we learn so much from other people. And the other really cool thing about having a podcast too, that you probably realize, Teresa, is that you're recording all of these deep conversations and then you start having these other people in the conversations and people start to learn about you in a very positive light opposed to anything else. So I think the podcast framework and people sharing their stories and getting to forcefully meet people, like having a great system for new networking, I think is one of the most important things because we miss out on that a lot.
I want to tell everybody here, Jordan, so just so they know, because I've been doing it for a little while, I had to learn some things too. And Jordan was super helpful today. So I want to tell you this, Jordan. Thank you. He is wonderful. We're going to continue on this, but I want everyone to know how generous you are. So he noticed a couple of things that I was doing. He tweaked them quickly and it was all done. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, here's a guy who's so generous. When I started, a lot of podcasters helped me too. Do you find, Jordan, when you moved along the way, that people were really open and helpful in this kind of industry, if you will?
Absolutely. I vividly remember I had even this background, prior to this background. So in 2020, I was traveling around the US with my then girlfriend at the time, and we ended up getting married. And the thing is that it's exciting. It happened in November. Thank you. And we ended up traveling around. So we were going from place to place. So I didn't have a formalized background. And one of the guests was like, Jordan, we gotta fix this. We gotta get you a new background. And like literally one of the guests made me this background. They had their video designer make the background and they're like, here, take this. And I'm like, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Because at that
that's
point I was
nice.
like, I don't know how stuff works. Thank you for giving me this.
But that's the fun of it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just that constant learning, constant working on the different skill sets. And also, I love the fact of connecting with people from all over the world.
I agree with you. I even had a lady from Iceland. I would never in a million years know anyone from Iceland. She was so wonderful. I've met people in Australia, all over, and of course, the United States, and just everywhere. I can't believe it. And it's so wonderful to share. And they have cultures of their own. So you learn things and you get backstories of people who've overcome. Jordan, people who've overcome things that I know I'm not sure I could get through. So I'm impressed by their stories, and that's what I like about it. Now, I just want you to move just a bit to the side so we can see the name in your background because it's called
Oh, yeah.
Clockedin. There you go. Thank you. I just wanted everybody to see the background because you're covering it there, and it looks really neat. I like that. Well done.
I
Now let's
appreciate
talk.
that.
Go ahead. Turn to the side. Yeah, it's all done.
Yeah.
Perfect. So clocked in. Where'd you get the name?
So pretty much what was going on was this was the same exact time COVID was happening, and I was realizing that a lot of people, especially in the US, were not working. They weren't, they were sitting there and just a lot of people got payments from the government, and a lot of people were just like, oh, this is an excuse to just party for 6 months in a row. And my whole thing was I would work out each day because we were doing the 75 hard thing. So I was constantly posting on hashtag clocked in because it was basically that idea of a blue collar worker. Everyone's clocking in, like you hit the clock and you're clocking in. And so I started to realize this, and then it started to catch on because a lot of people were sitting here going, I can get worse or I can get better during this time.
Right.
And now it's evolutioned to this point of it's anytime you're listening to the podcast and the premise of it, if you listen to the podcast, is you're getting better. You're learning something new. You're taking new information and you're seeing what is possible. And I think there's a lot of society that sits there and goes, oh, my life is my life and I can't change it. But like Teresa, you're a prime example of going, I'm talking to people all around the world. I'm sharing their stories. I'm doing this YouTube thing. It may not be perfect, but I'm trying. And that's what it's all about. And that's why I'm so empowered when I'm around different people who are motivated, excited, and looking to grow.
Thank you. You are amazing. And yes, absolutely, you helped me. And yes, I when I came on, one actually I did some motivational speaking and I do little clips in between. And one of them was about don't worry that it's not perfect. Don't worry that you're not sure. It'll all unravel down the road. The main thing is that you take the first step and get started, right?
Absolutely.
I want
Absolutely.
to
And
talk to you about your consulting business because we talked a bit, and so as you're doing this, you're also doing a business where you're teaching and coaching. I don't want to ignore that because that's important. You're bringing a skill in your toolbox and you're helping other people. So let's talk about that for you.
yeah, absolutely. So this was actually the year before in 2020, it was 2019. And it was New Year's, and I set for myself, I go, Jordan, let's not do New Year's resolutions. We don't need to resolute anything. We need to set goals and we need to accomplish goals. So I set three goals for myself. The first one was to run a marathon. The second one was to complete all four sections of the CPA. And the third one was to start a business. So I set these three goals for myself. The first one I started on was the CPA because it's the certified public accounting. I graduated with an accounting degree, and I go, I should probably get this. Let me see if I can do this. I actually failed. I
Oh,
failed each of the exams. And I made the realization that I was like, no, Jordan, if you go down this line, what am I going to do? Like the only thing a CPA, it's a validator, but you can sign off on audits. And I just thought to myself, I'm not going on that path.
okay.
That is not the path I decided to. So I share that because failure is among all of us. And failure is not a bad thing, but it's something we can all learn from. So that I did not accomplish. I ended up running the Lake Tahoe Marathon. I'm in Tampa, Florida, so that's 6,000 feet elevation. That's not the easiest thing to do. So I ended up doing that in October, and then I started the business in around, I want to say June. Oh no, it ended up the LLC was created in October of 2020 of 2019. And what ended up happening was I started doing coaching. So I was doing one-on-one coaching with people, helping them about their financial literacy, helping them about student loans, debt management. And then I transitioned that into more holistic, where we're talking about mental health, physical health, community service, philanthropy, spirituality, and relationships, because they're all intertwined. Everything we do connects. And so I started to realize there that if I'm able to do this with people, I was doing this one-on-one, why can't I do it in a group setting? And that's where my men's groups started to become created. I had a Monday night group, and then I had a Thursday morning group, and these have been iterations, but I started doing these on a weekly cadence for myself and then also to get around people and to be motivational and learn each and every week because it forces me to teach, but it also has all the clients, they're interested and eager to learn different things as well. So it's all of these people that are looking to better their lives. And we created such a community where now the framework is, oh, I think that way because I'm around Jordan. And some of those might be like they have a attitude of gratitude, so they're thinking about what they're grateful for, or they have different perspectives, or they think about how they define a bad day or how they define a good day and how they're looking to grow in this world. Because it's not just about money, it's not just about success, it's about the real value you provide to everyone else.
Fantastic. And that's so important today because I think, Jordan, a lot more people work from home and you are isolated a little bit. Although it's,
Yeah.
you don't have to trudge through traffic and all of that, you do get isolated a little bit. So it's good to have someone there that you could that can mentor you and you can be in group. So I'm thinking you would do online. Is that right?
I do 100%
Yeah,
online.
okay. I thought so.
The reason I do online is because I enjoy traveling myself. So I did the Monday meeting last week from New York because here's the thing. If in person's great, but to have that consistent remedy, last year I ended up traveling Europe for 7 weeks.
Oh,
And during that time, I was still doing the group because that was the only cadence that I still had where I was like, I'm still meeting with the people. I'm still doing the thing. I'm still helping the people. And you start to realize very quickly that it's much better to have that sense of comfort because a lot of the times we just cut out everything and we're like, we're on an island alone again. And sometimes you need that safety raft or that boat or that cohesive group to be like, it's okay, keep going, we got this. And I think that's so important. So yeah, it's fully remote. Anyone can come in. And what I can do is we'll do a special gift at the end. I
oh,
would definitely be happy for everyone to just learn about it and just even if it's not this group, if it's some group, because you need a community to be a part of.
thank you, Jordan. And we'll, so everybody watch to the end because we'll put Jordan's special on here. That's wonderful. I love your energy, Jordan. That's why you're successful because you have this energy about you and you're willing to share. And I think it's always important to share what we know and help other people. And it all comes back to you down the road, right? But you're doing a nice thing for people to help them stay encouraged, set their goals, be motivated and reach those goals. And I love that. I love when people achieve their successes. Let me ask you this. If you could give the viewers, let's say 2 tips, what would you give them as from your world? 2 tips
Yeah.
that would help them achieve their goals.
Yeah, so two things I think would be one to get a really defined goal, which is one. So sometimes people are like, even my first goal, I need to start a business. That was so vague, and that was not directionally what I needed to do. The other one of I want to run a marathon is the distance. It's 26.2 miles. You know what the activity entails. You know what the requirements are. It's a lot easier because it's more specific. So one, I would define the goal. And then two, what I really see for people to improve their goals is measuring and monitoring. This is something if you want to do anything, if you want anything to grow, you have to find the data point to track and then you have to measure it and monitor it. So see if you want it to grow. And that could be applying to I want to grow a YouTube channel or I want to eat healthier and I want to lose weight. Whatever number you want to track, it's so important for you to measure and monitor. Otherwise, you don't see your progress and you're not sure if you're doing. So we have people doing really well and they're just hard on themselves. So they don't give themselves that grace of what they accomplished. And that to me is very upsetting. Like it's important to realize, hey, I set the goal of I want to save $1,000. You do that goal and be happy about that. Not now now it's 5,000, now it's 10,000, now it's 100,000. And we all know people who do that. We do that. And you realize that you keep pushing the goalposts and you don't celebrate those wins. So the main thing, specific goal, measure and monitor, and then third, make sure to celebrate these wins. Make sure to be excited about what you accomplish and bring other people into that celebration as well.
Thank you. I think that's brilliant because honestly, I think you are right. We do beat ourselves up, don't we? We're especially if we, as you say, fell, and there's nothing wrong with tripping and realizing, oh, that's not for me. Or I have to do better to get to where I want to go. But the goal's still there. It's just you got to decide, is the goal still the one that you want? And you're right, you have to celebrate those wins along the way. If you don't take the time and say, I made it, like you said, and to your
That's
point, you win, you get the $1,000. And if you're not happy with that, how are you going to be happy at 5 or 10? So you got to enjoy the moment, right?
absolutely.
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 Now, Jordan, so you have a course. What's the best way to get that course? So is it on your webpage? Where is it that we can get your course?
Yeah, so on my website, I actually set it up where you guys can actually do a complimentary coaching call. So you can go on there, we can set up the call, and then we can have a conversation and we can see if what value I can provide to you, see if you're a fit, and then maybe you can come out and check out one of the group coachings. And I would absolutely love to do that because what would end up happening there is you'll get a lot of value, you'll get to think about things a little differently. And then at the same time, you'll also be able to see what else is out there. Because a lot of us don't leave our bubbles. Like that is one thing I realized. Most people are in their work bubble, friend bubble, family bubble, and they never lift their head up and go, how do I create my own bubble? How do I get around the people that I'm looking to get around and not the people that I got around by chance? Because it's very interesting. You find a lot of people who are like, oh, my best friend's my neighbor. What are the odds that your neighbor's actually qualified to be your best friend? And you start to sit there and think about it. You're like, oh, that's interesting. Is that actually my best friend out of convenience or actually like a very good quality person that I'm looking to befriend? So you start thinking about these different things and you start to realize pretty quickly that we have to be very intentional with who we want to spend our time around. So it's important for us to get around these different groups and even to come check out my group and see if it's something you like, or if there's another group you go in, whether it's a run club, whether it can be anything, a pickleball club, it can be a knitting club, it can be an anything club. And it's just good to get around new people and see what you like and what you don't like.
Thank you. And then you stretch yourself. So well done, said Jordan. You gave a really good analogy there. So now we come back. What is the special that you're offering?
Yeah, so what I'm offering for everybody here is I will do a complete complimentary coaching call. And then what we'll also dive into is we'll dive into your 5-year vision. So if you decide to do the coaching call today, we'll do your 5-year vision, which I usually do with just one-on-one clients, but we dive deep on what do you actually want to accomplish? What is it going to look like? And what will that feel like for you? So I'll send over Teresa the Calendly link and she'll put it in the show notes and we'll figure out what's the best way to do this because you guys gotta have a specific goal that you want to accomplish. You have to get specific about what it looks like, and you have to learn about your life because the thing is, a majority of the time, I find a lot of people are very based in action, which is incredible. But how often are we in the moment where we actually take a step back and we're planning and strategically planning our life? Because a lot of it is you strategically plan, I want to make a podcast. Cool. Then you start taking action on it. Amazing. But when's the moment you lift up and go, is this podcast working? Is there anything I want to change? Or is there anything I want to iterate? And I'm using the podcast as an example for Teresa, but it's also an example for all of us to understand our own lives, where we all sit there and go, hey, are we doing actually what we want? Do we like our life? Is this what it's all about? And it's this reevaluation. So I'll send over the calendar link and I'd be happy to have the audience come check it out and we can see how we can collaborate.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Jordan. What a great special. So everyone make sure we do it. I'll make sure it's all on here, of course. We'll do all of that. But thank you, Jordan. That's really nice of you for everyone. I absolutely, your energy is wonderful. You're so positive. I love that. That's just wonderful. One last thing for you, Jordan, and I always ask this on my show, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
For me, I see myself doing a few different things. So right now I'm doing coaching, I'm doing the podcast. I would in 5 years I see myself being on more stages. I see myself speaking internationally. I love travel and I want to have and I feel like my wife would be upset if I don't say this, but I think we're leaning towards a family dynamic by that point, like expanding the family. So we just got married. So there's a lot of exciting things, but I do see my coaching growing. I see it working into corporations a lot more. I see me speaking on stages, having a book, and I just see my life being this emblem of possibility for others.
Thank you so
I
much for
appreciate that.
sharing. Wonderful, Jordan. Now I have one last question. Will you come back and see us again?
Yes, absolutely. I can't wait. You're an energy. I love the vibes. I love what you're doing, and I love how you're sharing your mission, which and you're sharing and you're allowing others to share their mission, which is the most important thing.
Thank you, Jordan, because we absolutely want to have you back. I'm going to make sure you come back. So to everyone else, make sure you go to now, Jordan, we talked, you have a YouTube channel as well. So go to Jordan's, I will have all his information, but go to his
Yeah, so
social.
the YouTube link is if you look up Jordan Edwards Business Consultant, you'll find it right there. And then the website is edwards.consulting. But I already sent you all the links, Teresa, so you can put that all in the show notes.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
I'll make sure it's all on there. So do subscribe to his channels because you'll be able to bring in more content and you'll get a little notice that says he's doing something else. And I always like that because you track people, especially if you are watching the show. So do encourage that. And of course, if you could subscribe to my channel, all those nice things. Thank you so much. So Jordan Edwards, it's my pleasure to have you on the show and I can't wait to have you back. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
To everyone else, this is Teresa Aker from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. I hope you're having a great day and I look forward to talking to you all very soon. Bye bye now.